there, thanks for joining me to color. Today we're going to be working on this super cute Whimsy Stamps image called Lamb Hugs. Aren't these two just too adorable? I will put a link down in the description box to the card kit and all the supplies I used. I would love for you to come shopping with me. If you have a question, make sure and leave me a comment and I will get back to you. If you like the video, hit the like button, that would be great. And if you want to share my video, I would love that. I've already stamped my image on Nina 80-pound solar white cardstock with Memento Tuxedo black ink, so let's color. So let's give our image an outline. For that, we're going to use BG 000, 000, and the Colorless Blender. We're going to start with our BG 000, and I want to put that where I want to have some really dark shadows, so let's do underneath of her coat. And let's see, she's got a little bit, nope, not right there. Right here, let's do underneath of her hand. And maybe a little bit here next to her hair. And under her hat. And for this side, let's do under this little bit of hair. And under a pigtail. And let's do a little dab here around the back of her pants. Then we are going to add BG 000. And we're going to go ahead and go right over the top of our BG 000. So right down here, I'm going to bring it all the way over to my little lamb. And then over here, I'm going to go underneath of his tail. And around these flowers a little bit. Let's go underneath here. And then right here where we laid down our BG 000, I'm going to go over that. And I'm going to brush away from my lamb. And I want to do that all the way around. So up here. And if I do this first, if I get some on my characters, I can erase it without having to worry about any of my color bleeding out. And let's see, let's do up here. So I'm going to do a little bit above her head. And then come down to her hat. And meet up down here where I stopped. And then we want to do this side. Around the end of her pigtail here. And then we'll go back down and by these flowers. Kind of go around these leaves. And let's go on this side. Alright, then I'm going to take my Colorless Blender and I'm going to brush over both of those colors. So right here I'm just going to brush right over the top. And this way when I'm doing this I won't have to worry about the other colors because there aren't any on my person or my lamb yet. And where there's a dark color together, like right here, I'm going to go over that just a little bit extra. And I want to go out past my BG 000 into my white so that it'll smooth the edge and make it blend out into the white. And here's another dark color, so go over that a little bit extra. And this works best too if your Colorless Blender is full, not running out. My pen just glides over the paper. And here's a little bit more. I think I'll go over this a second time because there's a little bit of a line right here. Next, let's do her skin. I'll get a little bit closer. So for that, we're going to use E11, 00, E50, and then for her cheeks, I'm going to use R02 and R01, and for her lips, I'm going to use R02. So we're going to start with E11, And let's go down here and we'll do her hands first. So I'm going to do a little dab with my E11 right next to her sleeve. And then down the bottom of her hand. And then I'm going to do a little dab on each of these fingers at the bottom. And this hand over here, let's go along the bottom. And then a little bit on each finger next to the little line. And then I'm going to take E00. And I'm going to go over the entire hand and fill it in. And then I'm going to go over that with E50. There we go. It's having a hard time focusing there. And then we'll go over this. And we'll go up here and we'll do her face. So again, let's start with E11. Come on. There we go. Silly thing. Okay, E11, let's do a little dab underneath of her neck right here, or her chest. And then she's got a little bit of her neck showing over here, so I'm going to do a little dab in there. And then I want to go underneath of her hair. And let's go over here underneath of her hat. And then I want to give her a little bit of a definition for her nose, so let's go like this. Give her a little swoop right there. Then I'm going to add E00. And I'm going to fill in her little chest right here. And her neck. And then up here, let's go right along here. And I'm going to fill in this little cheek. And let's come down here and around her lips. And we're going to come up this way. And we're going to bring that up here onto her cheek. Like that. And then I want to add my skin color, so let's get R02. And we're going to add a little dab of that over here on this side, right next to the edge. And then over here, I'm going to use this right here in that little space where her cheek is. Then we're going to add R01. Over here, I'm just going to kind of dab it on the edge just to soften it a little bit. And then over here, I want to make it a circle, so let's bring this out here. Okay. Then we're going to add E00. Okay. And for this, I'm going to go over her entire face. I'm going to not go too close to her eye right here because I want to leave it white there on the edges. So don't get right up next to the pupil. Same for this side. I'm going to do a little dab there on the edge of her cheek, but then I'm going to leave the rest white there. And then I want to add E50 over the top of all of that. Again, don't get too close to her eye. You want to leave a little spot of white there. And I think I'll pink her cheeks up just a little bit more, so let's grab R02. So I'll do a little dab here on the edge of this one. And then I'm going to do this one. I'm going to bring it out just a little bit more here on the inside of my circle. And then I'm going to do her lips too, as long as we got it out. And then I want to soften that with R01. I'll just dab the edge of this one. And then over here, we'll dab a little bit further out. And then I'm going to go over that with my E50. And I think I'll add a little bit up here to her forehead with my E00. I got a little bit of a line right here, so I'm going to add a little bit more color up here and around the edge here. And let's see, let's go with E11 and put this little crook on her nose back in. So I'm going to darken this up just a little bit right here. For her hair, let's use E18, 19, 08, and 01. And we're going to start with our E18. For her hair, let's use E18, 19, 08, and 01. We're going to start with E18. And let's do a little bit over here on this side. That. Then over here on her pigtail, let me turn her a little bit here. Let's do a couple little streaks out here, and I'm going to use these lines that are already here too. And then on our ponytail, or her braid, there's some lines that are already there, so I'm just going to go over those. And let's see, for this piece, let's go a little bit in there, and how about a little bit like this? And I'll do some in this piece. And let's see, let's continue up this way. So we've got to have a little bit coming out from her hat too. So let's start up here. Okay, I like that. So let's do, what's it doing? It's having a fit. Sorry about that. Then we're going to do E19. Okay, so E19, we want to add a little bit of this one. Better add a little bit over here. And then of course to our braid. And then I want to add E08. And then we will fill the rest in with E01. And then I'm going to leave it all streaky like that. Let's work on her hat, her little hairband, and the patch on her sleeve there. For that, we're going to use Y26, 21, and 32. And we're going to start with our Y26. And let's do a little sleeve patch and our hair bow first. So let's do right down here on the bottom. And same for her sleeve. Let's go right along the bottom of that patch. And then we're going to add Y21. And we want to go right over the top of that Y26. And then we'll fill it in with our Y32. I think I'm going to make that patch just a little bit darker, so let's go Y26 again. Y21. And then Y32. And for our hat up here, we'll again start with our Y26. I'm going to add a little bit right along the edge right here. And then let's add a little bit on this side of her hat brim. And let's see, let's give her hat up here a little bit. So let's go, how about right here? And then we're going to give it a little bit of a wrinkle right here. And let's give it a little bit of a wrinkle up here, right here. And right over here is a little spot. And of course right here too. Then let's add Y21. See here. And let's bring this over. And then let's add Y32. And then, like her little patch on her coat, I'm going to give it a second coat, so let's go with Y26. and then Y21. And then over all of that with our Y32. Let's do a shirt next. For that, we're going to use T2, 0 in the Colorless Blender. We're going to start with T2. And let's do right up here underneath of her collar, or her cheek. And then for each of these little lines, or these little scallops she's got here on her sleeve, or on her shirt collar, I'm going to add a little bit of a line right there. And then same for this side. Right along the edge, underneath of her chin a little bit, there with a little line. And then again, for each of those scallops, I'm going to do a little line. And we'll go down here and we'll do her sleeve. So let's go underneath the cuff of her coat. And then let's do each of these little indents she's got here, that. And then for the bottom of her shirt, let's go underneath of her jacket. And right here where you can go, as you can see inside of her coat, I'm going to do a little bit in there. Then we are going to add, whoops, T0. And I want to go over the top of that T2 just a little bit. Just want to soften that edge. And then we're going to soften that even more with our Colorless Blender. So I'm just going to go over the entire area. Kind of swoosh it all around in there. Up here you want to be careful not to get it on her face or in her hair. Let's do her coat next. For that, we're going to use W5, 3, 1, and 00. We're going to start with W5. And for that, we're going to put a little dab over here on this sleeve. And then I'm going to go underneath of her little collar right here, just a little bit. And then let's see here. We got this little bit of coat that's showing underneath the lamb's face. So let's color in this little section. And then I'm going to bring it out just a little bit underneath of his chin there. Okay, then let's do underneath of this hand. And then next to her sleeve. Now, let's see here. There, and underneath of this sleeve. And let's bring this line in. over here, let's do right on this line, and then I'm going to flick it out here just a little bit, just to soften that edge. And then let's do a little dab right in here. And then I'm going to flick this one out just a little bit. Then we're going to add W3. So let's soften the edges of this underneath of our W5. I'm going to bring this underneath her collar. And then down by her sleeve. And then we're going to flick this up and around our little nose right here. Okay, then we're going to bring this out away from, I'm going to leave a little bit of white here on the bottom, so let's bring it out to, how about right here? And go here. Bring this up. That, and then let's do this side over here. And we want to come down the back of our shirt or her coat here. And I'm going to bring this underneath of her collar. And then for her sleeve, let's see. Let's add a little dab right in here. And how about this one? And then we want to bring this up the bottom of her sleeve. And then we're going to use this also on her cuff right here. So let's start the cuff like that. Then I'm going to add W1. I'm going to go ahead and fill in this side. And then we're going to want to bring this out. So let's do here. Around that patch. And we're going to also add some to our cuff. And I'm going to soften these lines right here. Then we're going to fill in the rest with our W00. And even though I filled these in over here, I want to go ahead and go over them again. That will soften the little lines I have going on in there. And I'm going to go with a second coat, so I'm not worried if it doesn't get all blended. Now, let's go with W5 for a second coat. And I'm liking how this looks over here, so I'm going to leave that. But let's do a little bit here where our little lamb is at. And maybe darken it up down here just a tad. Let's add a little bit. I think I'll make these little lines in here just a little bit darker this time. I didn't like how light those were. Then we're going to add W3. Better go down the back of her coat, I guess. Then we're going to add W1. Let's see, let's turn it this way a little bit. And then we'll go over all of that again with our W00. Let's go down here and do our boots next. For that, we're going to use W9, 7, 5, and 3. And for the soles, we're going to use E55 and 51. Let's start with our W9. And for that, let's do a little bit over here, right next to her pants. And then we're going to bring this across her sole right here. And then for this boot, again, we're going to go under her pants. And then we want to bring this around on her sole. Then we're going to do W7. this around to the other side. Same for this one. Then we'll add W5. And then we'll go over all of that with W3. Give a little swirl here. Squish that ink around. Then I'm going to add E55. So let's do a tiny dab on this side and this side. And then over here, come out like that. And then I'm going to fill it in with my E51. For the lamb, we're going to use C3100 in our Colorless Blender. For his cheeks, I'm going to use R01, and for his hooves, I'm going to use E44 and Y26. So I'm going to start with C3, and let's see, let's do a little dab of that on the bottom of his tail, or her tail, whichever you prefer. And then we're going to do a tiny dab coming down this line for his belly. And then we want this to pull out, so let's flick away from this other leg. And then for this leg, let's go along here, and then we're going to flick this out away from this opposite leg. And let's see, let's go up here where her hand is. And we're going to go under her hand. And let's do a little bit down his neck. And then let's see, how about right here where this hand is? And his ear. Then we're going to add C1. Okay, so for that one, we're going to flick a little bit up here in his tail. And then we want to soften these lines. And I'm going to bring this up just a little bit right here. And then for this leg, let's do that. And then let's do right here. And let's see, how about we do right along the bottom of his face, and then we're going to bring this up by his ear, and then we're going to bring this up, and let's do a little bit of a shadow right here on the front of his face, just a little bit. Then we're going to soften that with our C00. And let's bring this shadow around over here. And we're going to give this leg a new shadow. And what should we do with this ear? Let's give this one a little bit of color on it. And then we're going to soften all of that with our our Colorless Blender. Forgot what I was using there. So I want to go right over the edges. Kind of soften it all up. Then let's get him a little rosy cheek with R01. I'm going to do that right under his eyes. Let's go right here. I think I'll soften that with my Colorless Blender. So let's just go over that a little bit. Not quite so pink. And then for his hooves down here, we're going to do E44. And then we'll go over that and fill it in with our Y26. Let's do the leaves next. For that, we're going to use G94 and 21. I'm going to start with my G94. And since there's only a couple, it's not going to take long. So let's go along the bottom edge of this leaf. And then the bottom edge of this one. And then we're going to fill both of those in with G21. For the grass, let's use G94, 82, 21, and 12. And we're going to start with our G94. And let's do a little dab of that over here underneath of this little hoof. And in between these hooves. And then under her pants. Then we're going to add G82. And we want to soften that, so let's go right across here. And I'm going to use this to do the little blades of grass that are right here. And the flower stems. Then we're going to add G21. And then G12. I'm going to go up here to touch this grass up here. Go a little bit up here. And then we'll do our G94 to add that shadow under her feet in again. For the flowers, we're going to use B04 and 01, and we're going to start with our B04. And then we want to fill those in with our B01. And then I'm going to add a second coat of our B04. So next we're going to do her pants, and silly me, I didn't even put those on the instructions. I included the colors in the list that you needed to have, but I just didn't write it down, so I will have to go fix that. But anyway, we're going to use our 35, 14, 32, and 21, and we're going to start with our R35. And let's do this leg over here first. I'm going to bring it up. Give it a little bit of a stuff right there. And then there's a little wrinkle right here. Then for this back leg, let's go underneath over here, and we're going to bring it over the top of our shoe. And let's see here. And then there's a little wrinkle right here. I'm going to exaggerate this wrinkle by bringing it up this way. And then we want to go underneath all of this jacket, or her shirt. And let's see, we want to go away from the back of her pants. And let's go ahead and exaggerate this. And let's give it a little wrinkle right across here. So let's go this way. Like that. Okay, then we're going to add our 14. And then let's add R32. And I'm not worried that this looks really blotchy because I want to go back with a second coat to make them a little darker. And then we're going to do R21. Then we'll do a second coat of R35. Then we're going to add our 14. R32. Then we'll go over that with our R21. So there is our adorable lamb hugs all colored up. Didn't she turn out cute? I love her. Then again, here is my finished card. On my finished card, I have popped up the girl in her mat. The little arrow here, the sentiment. The sentiment here is from the Cartabella Simply Stated stamp set. You do not get that in your card kit. I stamped this one sentiment on a piece of square cardstock. You have to fussy cut it out yourself if you want it to look like that. These little hearts are then placed on top of the girl and her mat, so they're kind of floating there. I added some Spica glitter pen to her hair and to these flowers down here to add some sparkle. And everything else is flat. Very cute. If you have a question, make sure and leave me a comment and I'll make sure to get back to you. Otherwise, thanks for watching the video to the end, and I hope you're having a great day. We will see you next time. Bye!